Welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I really like what the basement crew's done over there with the screens. It's looking pretty good, guys. I love it. So if you're new tonight, everybody starts out muted, so that's normal. Let me bring up Kristen here with me. And what do you got for us this week, Kristen?
I have the best thing for all of you guys. So I don't know if you've been on Facebook in the past 20 minutes, but I just ran my second 5K today, and I'm going to get miles if you guys sign up. So anybody who signs up can have all of my miles. You don't have to run it. You don't have to walk it. How's that?
Whoa. You did it for them?
I did it. I ran it for you. So just go to battlefieldaddiction.com, go to the Run for Recovery page, sign up. I did your miles. You don't have to do your miles, and we'll send you your medal. How's that, you guys? I think that's great. Lucky I had to run 2 5Ks, then you don't have to run anything. It's perfect. Perfect for you.
So this is for that person out there that's like,
yeah,
my thing.
But
you want to donate to Battlefield.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. That's perfect, you guys. You can sign up for your medal. You can just donate. If you want to, you can write in the little comment section that you're using my miles, and I'll give my miles to anybody who wants them. So there you go. And I'll send you a thank you for running your miles if you take mine. So sign up, you guys. We only have a few days left to sign up, and it's easy, right? You already did your miles. So sign up. And we'll send you the medal, and reminder, the medals come out in November sometime. And if you want a t-shirt, it's a really cool R for R t-shirt. It's going to be really awesome. That's an extra charge. So you'll see on the run page, you can sign up for just the medal and the race, or the medal, the race, and the t-shirt. So any questions, get with me. If you don't know how to get a hold of me, get a hold of Angie. Becky's working on this with us too. So please sign up. It's an awesome time. I had a great time. Angela, I thought of you when I was running today. I didn't have as beautiful weather on the beach as you did today. It was really cold and windy, but I still did it, right? So yeah, any questions, let me know anytime, and I can help you through it. It's super easy though. So just click on, like Angie says, if you just want to donate, just go ahead and donate and put Run for Recovery, and we will credit the Run for Recovery for your donation. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you, Kristen. And Angela, did you have a question about Run for Recovery? Oh, we can't hear you.
Mute.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I second Kristen's offer, because while I was at the beach, I walked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, my first day, 5 miles, my second day, 4.7, third, 4.8, fourth, 6.9, and the grand finale on Friday, I walked 7.6 miles on the beach. Beautiful.
Wow.
I second that. Anybody that needs to borrow 4 of mine, you got
it. Nice. That's nice. Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
That's why I look like this, because I just finished like 10 minutes ago. So,
well, you look adorable. Thank you so much. And just so you all know, all the proceeds for Run for Recovery helps continue the services that we do in this organization. And so all the money is a donation. It's all a tax write-off as well. And so just like Kristen said, if you want to just do a straight donation, just go on our website, battlefieldaddiction.com, click donate, and just donate. We would sure appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Thanks, ladies. All right. One more announcement before I take it over to some comedy. Moms Group. Becky and Kristen will be running Moms Group tomorrow morning. So join them tomorrow morning. Let me remove the spotlights and put them on the spotlight so y'all can see. Every Wednesday morning. If you all haven't joined us yet, if any of you moms out there haven't joined us for a Moms Group yet, please join us. You're welcome to pop in anytime. You don't have to be available every single Wednesday. You can just come when you can make it. It's just a 1 hour that we take every Wednesday morning, 11 to noon, just to kind of connect, get to know each other, talk about the topic from the night before. It's just a really great time. So join Becky and Kristen in the morning. And if you don't have the Zoom link, you can reach out to me or Kristen to get that. And then once you have it, it's the same Zoom link every week. And speaking of Zoom link, we can take that off, Mom's Group off for a moment. Let me just take a moment to just comment. We've been having some issues. This is the second week in a row. I don't know how many more people maybe are still having issues tonight, but this is the second week in a row that Zoom has been causing some issues for some people. It's like saying meeting full, or I don't recall. Kristen, you'll have to refresh my memory. What
it says, registration closed.
Registration closed, and it just happened on Hannah tonight. So she joined the military downstairs. So it's just happening to a few people. If that happens to you at any point out there, the only thing I can suggest is maybe you need a Zoom update on your device that you're trying to do that from. That's the only thing I can think of. If we continue having problems, maybe I need to totally start from ground zero and we need to start a brand new Zoom link. If it continues happening after next week, I'll look at that. That would be a huge undertaking to change it, because then anybody who has the Zoom link and, then it's changed forever. And so it's kind of, it's not the easiest deal to do that, to change over, but maybe we need to look at that. So if you have any of those issues, shoot me a text and let me know. If you have had the issue and you have solved it, and you know what the issue is with Zoom, will you send me a message and let me know what that issue is? And then that way I can let people know, because my guess is an update, but that doesn't seem to be solving it for people if I suggest that either. So I don't know. I have no idea. But if there's anybody wise out there that has some Zoom intel that could fill me in, so I can let everybody know and we can solve this, that would be fantastic. And again, if we continue having the issue and we can't get this solved, maybe we'll start a whole new Zoom passcode or whatever it's called here in the next couple of weeks. So, okay. So with that, let's go over to the basement crew. We've got Kyle in the house for some Kyle's corny comedian moment. Oh. Hey, Kyle.
Gets closer every week. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Every morning we have the clients make breakfast. Their favorite things to make is omelets. They find it exhilarating. Eggs.
Yeah. Why didn't you say make eggs?
Because omelets. It's eggs.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard you should always look in the mirror when you're planning to make a big decision. It helps you reflect. Why is it cheaper to throw a party in a haunted house? Because the ghosts bring all the booze. I wouldn't say my house has the best ceiling, but it's up there. Speaking of which, I went and bought a ceiling fan the other day. And I'm telling you, it was not worth the money I paid for it. All he does is just stand there and say, "Wow, it's really smooth." Why don't you play poker in the jungle? Because it's full of cheetahs. Does anybody need an ark? I know a guy. That's a Bible joke.
Yeah, we got it.
You hit them Christians.
My dad keeps asking me to tell a joke that has a cliffhanger. Why do ducks fly south for the winter? Because it takes too long to waddle there. I had to stop at the bathroom.
That's it.
That's it.
Good job, Kyle. Thank you very much. Kyle from Rebuild Recovery. All right. We're ready to go, Arts. Mr. Art Dolan.
It was 2014. I was in the living room of a house in Browns Point. And up until this point, I had gotten sober through AA and NA. And that's all I ever knew at that point. And I was pushy with it, if I can remember right, meaning I said to people that there is just no chance that you're going to get sober if you don't do a meeting every day and do 90 and 90. And you need to read the big book and you need to get a sponsor and you got to get a service position. And I had all those things. So I was, sure that that was the way to go. And it was the first time that I was facing some rebellion on that. And there was a gentleman friend of mine still to this day, Chris Reckner, and Chris was adamant that AA and NA was not the place to be, and he would not go to meetings, and he'd also not been able to stay sober. So I put those two things together and thought, well, that's why, but we were sitting in the living room. There was about 15 of us sitting around in the living room. And then this kid, Adam, was watching Chris struggle, and he was watching Chris struggle with his mind and fight. And, Chris was just being aggressive about how stupid it was. And this kid, Adam, stopped him and goes, Chris, you need to stop. He said, and he said these words. He said, you need to learn to put it down. And I didn't know what that had meant, and I'm at this time, I'm 40 years old. I'm 3 years sober. And it kind of caught me for a second. I didn't know what he was saying when he said, put it down. And the next thing that Adam said was, he goes, you need to learn how to be the watcher of your own mind. And that blew me away too, because after he said that, I was like, whoa, I'd never heard that before. And it was coming from a kid in the program that was about 15 days sober. And he was explaining it all. And then he said, no, you just kind of take your mind and then you just put it down. You just set it down. And I was like, where did you get that? And of course, he handed me the book and he said, well, that's from Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. And so I stopped the group immediately because I didn't like that the kid had something to offer that, was better than me. So I was kind of frustrated. But I need to take this book home now and I need to read the book. And so I did. I went directly home. It was about 10 o'clock at night. And by about 1 o'clock, I think I got through the book, or maybe 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And the next day I woke up and it was about 7 in the morning. I slept a little bit and I woke up again and I started Googling Eckhart Tolle. I started looking at who he was and then I seen Oprah Winfrey, and Oprah Winfrey said she was on a talk with Oprah Winfrey, and Oprah Winfrey said, welcome Eckhart Tolle. I call this man my prophet, and on and on. And I was like, damn. So I really got into it. So I read the book again. Well, what I took that day was just this thing that happened to me. So it just happened to me. It happened that I thought, wow, there's another position here. As a human, I can move to this position of observer. And it was like profound because I didn't know what it meant, but I had learned. And then going on later in life, what I've learned is that was what's called to wake up. That's called the awakening, is when you kind of separate from your own mind. And you separate from it and you take this observer position, and then you realize something. And what you come to the realization is that for my whole 40 years, I was my thoughts. I was actually, and I thought I was thinking. So I thought I was thinking, meaning I thought I was creating thought. I thought that's what was going on, was I was creating these thoughts that were happening in my head. But as I spent more and more time in the observer position, and this went on for months, I sat and I realized I could take this breath. And if I took this breath, I can put my mind down and I can watch it. And then it was deep, because in Eckhart's book, in that time, he said, I want you to look over at the wall like there's a mouse hole. And you look like you're sitting in an apartment in Brooklyn, New York, and there's a mouse, one of those old school mouse holes on the wall. And Eckhart said in his book, he said, now stare at that mouse hole. Now, when you see that mouse hole, look, because a thought's going to come out of that mouse hole. But he said in the book, he goes, but watch, you won't know what's going to come out of that mouse hole. You won't know what's coming. So you just sit, you look at that mouse hole, you close your eyes, and you look at that hole and you wait for the next thought. And he told you in the book, you will not know what's coming out of that mouse hole. So it started me on this pathway, this awakening pathway of this observer position where everything has happened since then. And in this observer position, what it really began to do is I began to separate further and further from the phrase, I think. So I didn't think anymore. There was definitely thinking. It was over there somewhere, but it wasn't me thinking. It was my mind that was thinking. So all of a sudden, the separation happened that I was no longer my mind. My mind was here. I was over here observing. I was over here, and thought would come by and I would observe it. And that's the position I lived in. And this was the position that we stay in. And you stay in this position, and the phrase I think starts sounding very stupid because we don't think. Thinking happens to us. It is an involuntary thing done by our mind, and we're in here. And we can't stop it. So the phrase I think, go ahead, I stop thinking. Well, you can't stop thinking, so you can't think. And so what it's called is disidentification. So it's saying I used to identify as the thinker, and now I don't identify as the thinker. I identify as the observer. So I liken myself the observer, and I'm observing the thinker. So Eckhart said there's two types of people on the planet. There's the thinker and the watcher of thought. And he said the position that's most likely to get the stuff that we need to happen, the good things that need to happen, to get the compassion we need as a human being, to get the things we need as a human being, happen from the observer position. And he said that's called consciousness, to be awake, he said, and that's to be awakened into consciousness. To be unconscious is to be lost in your own thought stream. To think that you're thinking and everything that is going on inside you is you. And so as I disidentified and began to separate, and that happened for me, and it went on, and I would stay outside of my thought stream. I would be able to through the breath, and I was able to do that. Now, this went on, and it led me to a point where I got to a point, and I was driving one day, and as I was driving, hadn't had this thought before, but for some reason, the thought of Ivers came up. Now, I can't tell you why that day it came up Ivers. I can't tell you why it didn't come up Ivers the day before. I didn't think about Ivers a week before, but that day I wasn't around an Ivers. I wasn't anywhere near an Ivers. And all of a sudden, Ivers came up. And about 15 minutes later, the cravings had started, and I was sitting dead square in the middle of an Ivers. Now, I had taken that observer position for a long time. And as I sat in that Ivers for the first time, I wondered something. Could it be possible that I'm programmed? Could it be possible that I am just a passenger in this thing? So the next day I went into my counselor, Ryan Perry, who also studies this material and also knows a lot about this stuff. And I said one thing to him, and I go, we're not doing it, are we? And he goes, we're programmed. And I went, whoa. And I started getting this idea that as I separated, and I'm now over here, and my mind is over here, and I am not my mind. Yes, I have one, and I am not my body, but I have a body, and I'm not my heart, but I have a heart, and I'm not my lungs, but there are lungs. And there is breathing happening, but I'm not breathing. And there's seeing happening, but I'm not seeing. See, there is my heart pumping blood. I'm not pumping blood, but there definitely is blood pumping. And there's thinking happening, but I'm not thinking. And there's choosing happening, but I'm not choosing. There is all this stuff happening, but I'm doing none of it. I wake up. No, I don't. Waking up happens to me. That's right. I have an appetite. No, I don't. An appetite happens to me. I hear. No, I don't. Try to stop hearing. You can't stop hearing. Hearing doesn't happen. And then that eventually led to what maybe what Buddhists would say, or what anyone's, I'm not the doer. I am not the doer. So what it led to was this, then I wanted to re-enter. Okay, now I'm looking for the control room. Because everyone says, hey, Art, just be more compassionate. Hey, Art, don't worry when you're worrying. Hey, Art, don't think about that. Just don't think about that. Hey, Art. Oh, people even say this one all the time. They say, I remember, I forget. Your mind remembers, your mind forgets. You have nothing to do with it. Why do you say I remember? Remembering happens to you. Forgetting happens to you. We have no part of this. So if I really started looking, and then I started looking for the control room. I started, wait, how do I get back to being the thinker? How do I get back to that position where I can just start thinking about good shit? And I can be more compassionate, and I can not worry when there's worrying, and I can control my thoughts. How do I do it? And I'll tell you, it's been 7 years. I cannot find the re-entry point. I can't find the point where I control my thoughts. And I no longer take credit for my mind. I don't take credit for its thoughts. It has thoughts. I don't have to take credit for them. Now, why do I even talk about this? Is this going to change the way that anyone lives? No, it's not going to change the way you operate your day-to-day life. It's not. It's not going to change the way you function as a human being. You're going to wake up tomorrow and it is going to feel like you're making a choice. It's going to feel like you're doing everything. It's going to feel like you're hearing, going to feel like you're thinking, going to feel like you're pumping blood, going to feel like all of it. So it's not going to change the way you do business. But maybe it's possible that you can see other people in a different light. Maybe it's possible that you can see them as a passenger in their experience. You can see them that maybe they don't have as much power to control their thoughts. And where do their decisions come from? Their thoughts. They are not controlling their thoughts. Their thoughts are controlling them, and their decisions come from there. So if anyone is out there that does know how you control your thoughts, and I'll say one thing, if you know how to control your thoughts and it's not with another thought, then let me know. Let me know how you do it. Show me the control room where you change your thinking on your own. Show me the control room where, and anyone out there that has an improvement then that can also control their thoughts, but they have an improvement to make and they haven't made it, that is stupid. Because if you can control your thoughts, then you can control your choices, and you should be able to make any improvement you want to make. It should not be difficult. You want to quit smoking, you want to eat right, you want to manage your money better, you want to be nice to your kids, all that needs to happen. You know how to do it. Explain it to me. So what this is all about is finding a compassionate place, maybe a humble place. True humility, true compassion doesn't come when you tell somebody to be humble and to be compassionate. I can tell all of you to be more compassionate, but I'm actually trying to explain to you how. How to be more compassionate would be I look at somebody else as a passenger in their experience, and I look at them as kind of programmed, and I can blame how they are or blame what they do more on their programming than evil. I can look at somebody and say, wow, they do that because they don't really control their own thoughts, and that's the thought they're having right now, and that's what they're going through right now, and that's what they're saying right now, and that's okay with me. But see, if it's possible that what I'm saying is true, then I want to talk about what's wrong with that being true. So if it's possible that we don't control our own changes, if it's possible that we don't control our own thoughts, if that's all possible, why does it suck so much? Why do people get so frustrated and angry about that? So what I'm saying is, why would it be that this is disappointing news? That we're more of a passenger to our programming, and what would be wrong with it? And what would piss people off about that?
The fact that we're not in control. Yeah, right there.
You said the fact that we're not in control. And I say,
I want to wait. I want to listen, and I'll say what I think's wrong with it later. But I think there's an issue with that, because I think that, it's possible that everyone wants everyone else to change. It's possible that we look around and go, you should change, and you should change, and you should change, and you should change. And it's very frustrating because we want everyone to change. And isn't it crazy that nobody is? Isn't it crazy that we kind of are how we are? Even if it's to our own detriment. So I would be kind of like crazy if I ran a treatment program and didn't believe more so in programming than I do in choice. I believe programming can help a human being because it reprograms that human being's mind to do different things, because the information might flow differently. But still, that's you being powerless to the program. Now, what'll get in the way is your old programming. But if we think that people are actually choosing, then we should just tell 5-year-old kids to brush their teeth for the rest of their life. Do good in school. Make your bed. There, start choosing. You're good. But what we do innately is program those kids. And some of us seem to come from better programming than others. Some of us come from, you think the U.S. Marine Corps doesn't know this. They are programming. The military is programming people to live a certain way. They don't give a shit about choice.
So we can reprogram by the information that we put into our minds.
Now Cam asked if we can reprogram by the information. I don't know if we can. Like I said last week, I said last week, I said, if you get here, you could, but why would you get here? Or why would you get anywhere? So I said last week, I said, this is very difficult because there's a to me and my whatever, and this is just what I'm saying tonight doesn't happen to be true. I don't want you guys to take it as it's true. I want you to take it as, which is the possibility to live from. That everyone that's screwing up is a poor choice maker and just kind of an evil piece of shit. And those that have gotten to the place in their life where they have a house paid off, where they have 2 cars paid off, where they can go on vacation every week or every year, and they have enough money to retire, and they're physically fit. Those people are just better. Maybe, and there's better people. They just told their mind, somehow they find a control, or were they programmed differently than us? That's a question, not an answer I have. And I'm not giving out answers. I'm just saying, for me, if I can look at all of you and I can say it's a programming issue, whatever issue you're having, it's somewhere in your experience that happened or whatever it is, and it's a programming issue. Now, maybe we're looking at the right thing. But if you came to my program and I said, well, start making better choices, change your thoughts, be more compassionate, stop worrying, this would be terrible advice. It wouldn't be something that would do anything. So, powerless, to me, when I say I am powerless, what I'm suggesting is I don't take credit for my mind, good or bad. If I'm an entrepreneur, guess what? I can sit next to a guy who's not. Does that mean we're different? Does that mean I'm better? What does it mean? It means my mind happens to have an entrepreneurial spirit. I don't know where it came from. My dad was a mechanic for Delta Airlines for 35 years. I don't know why. Why am I an entrepreneur? I don't know. I didn't do it. I get to ride around in here. Do I help people still because I'm powerless? I can still help people. That doesn't, but That's this thing. That's this mind that gets to help people. I don't do it. I get to witness it. I get to observe it work. I don't know how it works. I sit in a consultation with parents. I don't know where the answers come from. I didn't create my mind. They come from my mind somewhere, but I didn't do it. I get to observe it. It's nice, especially when I think it's good stuff. I'm like, whoa, that's good stuff.
Do you like review it as a watching your thoughts, kind of review what you're
Well, yeah, like you go, oh shit, where's this coming from? How do I know this? Has anyone here ever sat down and knew how to play the piano without knowing how they figured it out? What did you do? Oh yeah, I can play the piano. I'm awesome. No, what did you do? You got to experience a mind that can play the piano.
So let's say that is a possibility. That
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is a possibility. So is it also a possibility that the information that we put into our brains through books, through
Experience.
Nico, you stop doing that. Why are you
through
doing it?
experience, through other people, through everything else could be then the guideline to,
Again,
Yeah.
let's say,
you know what I mean?
okay,
Like,
good.
Is that how?
Good, but let's say, like
Is that
Cam
a
asked a
possibility
valid
also?
question. Cam asked a valid question. He said the information we put in it in the book, but what wants to read the book? Cam, the observer, or Cam's mind? Now, let's say Cam's mind doesn't want to read the book. How does Cam, the observer, make his mind want to read the book it doesn't want to read? So if you want to read that book, still, that's none of your doing. Now, congratulations, you read it. I'm sure your mind will get better. It'll have more information in it. But what did you do from the observer position? And if you're not in the observer position, take the credit. So your mind says, I want to read that book. You ever try to read a book and you can't? And then you go, I can't read that book. No, your mind couldn't. Nico, why do you do that? Is there something going on? Okay, but why are you doing it? I just want to, maybe I'm missing something.
No, it was on cam, so it's putting back on me.
Okay. Well, it can, but don't we have the brackets?
Yeah.
Okay. So
It automatically does that.
Oh.
It goes to that page before it goes to a new page.
can you see that, Ange?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the 3 screens right now. That's cool.
Okay. All right. Sorry. But you understand what I'm saying here.
Yeah, of course. I'm just lost in a way because
Well, you're trying to find a way to take credit for your mind.
no.
If your mind wants to read a book, it will read the book. If your mind wants more information, it will take the information. If your mind wants to watch TikTok, it'll watch TikTok and it will neglect the book.
Of course.
So at what point are you finding where you're going in there?
I'm not.
Okay. So then but what you're finding and what everyone, well, what do I do? Well, what do we do? And that's the question that everyone's going to ask. What do we do? And then I'll try to say, maybe it's possible we don't do anything. Our mind does.
So that's what I'm getting at. So then basically it doesn't matter then the information that we put in to our mind or we because it's our mind's choice then basically to either absorb that information or to basically say, oh, I don't want to listen to that information, correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, we're going back to semantics because some people will say, I am my mind. I'm the one thinking. Well, if you're thinking, then you're the one that thinks to read that book. And then you're the one that read the book. And by the way, if you keep following that line of logic, I am thinking, I thought about reading books. I read a lot of books. I got a lot of information in my mind that made me smarter than these other dummies. And I don't understand why other people aren't reading books. And because I've read these books, I'm better than people. That's somewhere that people might go with that. But, or if you stay in the observer position, then where's the credit? Like, okay, well, I just happen to have a mind that likes to read as opposed to somebody else who has a mind that doesn't like to read. They're not dumb for not liking to read, just like maybe somebody doesn't like football. But that doesn't make people stupid for not liking football. I think they are. If you don't want to sit down and watch the football game, then you're an idiot.
And this is where this is where humility comes into play.
Yeah, this is where you can gain it.
Or acceptance.
If I tell you, and I believe this to be true, and I'll tell everyone out there, I did absolutely nothing on my journey to sobriety. Fortunately for me, my mind was interested in recovery. And fortunately for me, my mind took that avenue and I got to be a passenger in it. And it's a lot smoother ride than drug addiction. But I can't find now, looking back, what I did. I can find out what my thoughts did. And I've observed those thoughts and I can see where my thoughts took me. And very fortunate those thoughts took me to the right places right now, because it is a lot smoother ride in here than having shame and guilt and all that shit pounding down on you and living in the mind of a liar. And living in the mind of a liar sucks. And waiting to get caught lying when you're lying sucks. And it sucks. And this mind now tells the truth, fortunately for me. And I'm blessed with the smooth ride that it gives me now. I don't know how it happened. But now, as I was saying last week, there's been other changes that I would like to make in my life. And what I'm saying about that is I can't apply what happened to me quitting drugs and alcohol into these other changes in my life. If I could get it done, but I can't. So my mind, for some reason, isn't ready to change with food, or it isn't ready to change. It doesn't want to read books on poker so I can get more skilled. It doesn't want to, and no matter what, I can't find the power to make any of those happen. And maybe somebody out here can feel what I'm talking about by the fact that there's probably about 10 changes that you wanted to make for the last 40 years. And you probably haven't made any of them. And you've been saying for 40 years for 40 New Year's resolutions that you were going to make this particular change. Yeah, powerless. That's what I mean. And you get to ride around in the mind that doesn't make the change all the while somebody else out there in the world tells you just lack discipline. Tells you something to that extent. And everyone running around saying that this is how great I am in this area and this is what you should do. But yet there's 9 other areas they suck in. And they don't apply those things to those areas. And I think that's very arrogant. And I want you to also say that anyone asking any one of you to change in any way, you've never seen anyone telling you how they changed before they did it. Not once. So are they telling you how they changed, or are they telling you what happened to them? Is somebody that has $10 million telling you how they made $10 million, or are they telling you what happened to them? Because a guy that's made $10 million has sold that book to 5 million people and nobody else got it. And all he got to do was sell more books. And people bought that shit.
So that wouldn't be like the change. That would be like the outcome to a change that is like unrecognized.
That's right.
Right.
Well, but also he's not telling you along the way that it was all external events that made him go this way, and then it went this way, and then he went this way, and his mind chose this, and it occurred to him to do this, and it occurred to him to do this. And there's all these events that aren't on your radar and will never happen to you. Just like the reason I got sober. I got sober because, in my opinion, well, I don't know if I got sober because of that, but on the day my father told me he was done with me if I used drugs one more day, since that day, I've never used drugs and alcohol. Do you have a father that's told you that? And if you do you have one that you believed in? See, I just happen to believe my father 100% that he would be done with me if I ever used drugs again. And from that day on, I haven't. So what did I do?
Nothing.
I didn't do anything. I had no other option. I couldn't, my mind would not allow it to do that to my dad again. Yeah.
The kid that had no choice is a major reflex. We all hit that kid stage at different levels, I think, at different spirituality of awakening. But I think what it is we aren't thinking the programming maybe from our higher source of power, how we're created, we're made through our parents, but we're created for, a purpose to love each other and to love pour on. But everything you went through and everything each one of us went through brought you to where you're at right now. And you've helped so many people, and you're involved in so many things in the community that you've actually built in your you're progressing a community.
Yeah, but
You
like
know?
I said, I mean, I don't, you know, and I don't know. You said our purpose is to love. You just made that up. I mean, I don't know if our purpose is to love each other. I don't know. I mean, it might be, but you just made it up. And that's a lot of the stuff that's happening is just made up, you know. I mean, and I don't know. I don't have the answers for that, but I want to just, and I'm just saying to me, it's not a big deal. To me, it's okay. You know, it's okay because I don't have to give you credit for your failures. I can actually like look at your mind and I can give your programming some credit. And I don't have to get angry with you. And I don't have to assume, you know, when we see somebody else make a bad play in any aspect of life, what's the phrase that we say? It's like there's a couple phrases when anyone makes a bad play in life, they're either a piece of shit or they're an idiot.
Dealt a fucking bad hand.
Yeah, well, you see somebody drive poorly, you see somebody do a crime, you see somebody do something poorly, and as people, we're just vicious with it. Piece of shit, idiot. We have and you know, the same people that say that throughout the day are the same people that tell you to be more compassionate on Facebook at night. Well, how? I'll tell you how you get compassion. You look at a pedophile and you realize that he's a passenger in there, that there's a spirit inside there, and there is no way he's choosing to be a pedophile. No way. Nobody would make that choice. Nobody would go, I can't wait to be a pedophile, be scorned by every human being, be outcast of the society. And we go, piece of shit. Why would he want to do that? If he could maybe help himself, don't you think he could? If he had power over it, don't you think that person would do it? Don't you think he would make a better choice if he could? And compassion comes to look at that person and go, man, that sucks for him. That sucks that he has to ride around in the body of that. It sucks. Compassion looks at a guy that misses a field goal to win the Super Bowl, the same as the guy that makes the field goal, because really they did the same thing. They walked out there, their mind said kick, and they kicked. And for whatever circumstances, one missed and one made it, and we cheer the man that made it and boo the man that missed and call him a piece of shit idiot and tell him to hang himself, even I've seen before. Kill yourself, you idiot loser. That's how crazy we are, as if that guy went out there and chose to miss that kick. He didn't. Just like you haven't chose to be a drug addict. Now, I didn't say it's a disease. I didn't say nothing like that. Because if you call this a disease, I think adultery, obesity, every piece of bad behavior would be a disease. Gambling, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's just an inability to not do that. I can't find the control room to stop it. If I could find the control room, I'd get in there and I'd hit the button. I'd hit the e-stop and be done with this shit. Wouldn't we all? You ever woke up at 2:00 in the morning in the middle of the night, worry about something for 3 hours? That is a dumbass choice. There's something to do.
Yeah.
Now, if you think you're powerful, stop doing that. Just stop. But you're in there and your mind's worrying and you ain't stopping it. And then it does its self-soothing thing. You know how the mind self-soothes? If you observe it, you'll see what it does. It tries to find out scenarios and it talks out scenarios and it figures out what you're going to say if you get caught doing that, and figures out what you're going to say if you like lose all your money, and what you're going to tell people, and you know what it's going to say, if what you're going to, and then you go, okay, I don't need to worry anymore, back to bed after you get it all figured. You wake up and you worry for 2 hours because you're mad at your friend or you're resentful and you can't believe he said that earlier. And then somehow your mind does that for 2 hours and it gets real tired. And then it goes, he's okay. He did do that one thing for me. Maybe I'll forgive him. Then you go to bed. What are you doing in that? You caused that? You woke yourself up and said, let's start worrying, buddy. I can get anyone to worry. One time I got Ernst to worry. It was great. I can get anyone to worry. I was leaving for LA. I got on the plane. I go, listen, there's a lot we should be worried about. I'll text you when I land.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There's a lot we should be worried about as an organization right now. I'll text you when we land. Boom. 2 hours of worrying. Just text one of your friends. Hey, need to talk. You get that one? Whoa. Anyone ever text me I need to talk to you? We're talking right now. Yeah. Yeah. Need to talk to you. We'll do it later. It's very serious. So the reason I speak about this is not to maybe it is because we're trained to be so competitive and everything is, we're competing on our choices. Now, I told you I'd tell you why I think people get so pissed off, because I think everybody has an illusion that tomorrow they're going to start choosing better and they're going to out-choose other people. And one day they're going to be proven to be the best choice maker that ever existed. People live that fantasy. They live the fantasy and they live the illusion and they live the hope that I'm going to start my diet next week. I'm going to smoke less. I'm going to drink less wine. I'm going to be nicer to my husband. I'm going to connect with my kids more. They live that hope, and that illusion's got to keep you going. Maybe you're not. Maybe you've been saying that shit for years, while simultaneously telling yourself that other people should get better right now. No, man, we're all sitting here and we're all on a path. We're all riding around in this human experience. We were given a body, we were given a mind, and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe it's a possibility that we're just a spirit in here. And what can a spirit do? What can we do? We ride around as a spirit. We've been given a programming. We were given parents. We were given genetics. All these things outside of us. We were given the genes of drug addiction, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else we don't know. But what would be so wrong if what I'm saying is true? And I want to ask that of the people that had a big problem with what I was saying last week. What would be so wrong if it's true? And if it's not true and you do have the controls of your thoughts, show me. Show me how you do it. Show me how you just stop worrying when you can't worry. Or when you're worrying, you just stop. Show me how you're just end being resentful when you're resentful. Show me how you don't complain when you want to complain. Show me how you're hungry and you just don't eat. Show me how you stop hearing. Show me how you stop seeing. Show me where your control room is in your ride. For me, it's okay. I'm in here, but I'm not doing it. It does it. I observe it. Sometimes it does very well at not getting angry with people. Sometimes it doesn't. But either way, I seem to be just in here watching it. I can't find why I got angry yesterday and I didn't get. I know it has something to do with being tired. I get angrier quicker. So this thing gets tired, not me, but it gets tired. And when it gets tired, it gets grumpy.
Like you were saying earlier, like it's extremely freeing to have the same conclusion about the people around you.
That's where the freedom comes.
Dealing with them makes it so much easier dealing with people when you see that. You see that they're just on a ride.
Yes.
In their head.
That's right.
Doing what occurs to them.
When you're around people more often, it just feels good.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like you're moving better. If you're around people that you have that in common with, that they're trying to feel the same way.
Well, if you're not looking at every move everyone makes and trying to find out why they're stupid, that helps. And you look at moves people make and you go, that's not out of stupidity. That's just them and their experience. That's what they were taught to do. That's what they did.
Tonight when I got here, there's quite a few people that got here early tonight just to kind of hang out and chill out and eat pizza. And everybody was talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody was kind of chiming about recovery in one way or another. It was cool. It was really cool.
But you just see, we are very, very programmed people. We have habitual, ritualistic things that we all do. We don't know why. Why do you put your shoes on different than I put my shoes on? And I think a place of powerlessness is a place of compassion. It's saying, hey, we're all in this experience. Did we do any of this? Are we the cause of any of this? We're all just here. None of us caused this. It's kind of like dice. It's like a crapshoot. We got to get thrown into a different experience. Boom. Whoa. Here I am. What's your name? I don't know. You tell me. Fuck. Well, where are you from? Fuck, I don't know. Where am I at? Well, who's your dad? I don't know. Shit. This guy. Shit. And then we look at the little thing and we go, that's your dad. Your name's Mike. Your name's Mark. And then the kid believes it. Little kid goes, I'm Mark. What the hell? You know? That's life. Hey, you're from Bismarck, North Dakota. What the fuck? I got screwed here. You know, no one ever says that. Hey, you're from Brooklyn, New York. Woo, nice. Got a good draw. I'm probably going to be successful. Guys from Brooklyn, they grow up successful. You're from Hollywood, California. Your dad's an actor. Sweet. Guess what I'm going to do? Oh, you're from Bismarck, North Dakota, and your dad's a local mailman. You're screwed. You know? Oh, shit. Your mom left you. Boom. There's foster care. How you like me now? You know? We just look. Where's the competition in that? I don't know. I hope that clears it up.
No. That does not clear it up.
Thank you, Travis.
It's called expansion of the mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just ride around in the observer position for a while if you don't believe me and test it out. I don't know. If you test it out for a while, you're going to see you don't know what you're going to think next. And then you're going to come to the conclusion that your choices come from your thoughts. And then tell me how you figure that one out. You tell me why you picked salad 3 days in a row and on the fourth day went donut. You can't answer that. You know, you tell me why you tried to quit smoking 481 times and then got mad at your kid for relapsing. Shit. Sneaking out in the back porch. I wasn't smoking. Then yelling at your kid, how do you lie? I don't know. I started lying, Mom, when I found your stash of weed. And I knew you were a liar.
I remember getting caught smoking cigarettes, but it was a buy one, get one free pack.
Yeah.
So I remember grabbing like the pack of cigarettes and be like, I'm done. I'll never smoke again. I broke them and flushed them out of the toilet. But I was like, I got another.
You imagine that? How many people in America today bought their last pack of cigarettes?
Now it's a carton.
I mean, everyone that goes to no people, but imagine that an item like a cigarette is an item that a smoker would need a pack every single day. And they also go to the store every single day. You would now if we did that with toilet paper, we don't go to the store and buy one roll because we don't have to convince our mind that we're going to stop using it. But with cigarettes, everyone's trying to alleviate the guilt because they know they shouldn't be smoking. So they go and buy one pack and then they say something about how they're going to quit. If you're a smoker, go buy a pallet. It is a cheaper way to smoke. Stop trying to convince yourself you're going to quit. You're an idiot. Buy a pallet, put it in the garage, walk out to the garage every day and get one pack. Then you won't have to go up to the store and waste the gas and do all the dumb shit that you're doing. Yeah, if you look in people's garages, they got pallets of toilet paper. Yeah, but they will not, they go buy water. They go get 5 things and stack it up on the deck. And then they get one pack of smokes. You're going to go tomorrow, right? Yeah. Fuck. I mean, it's insane. That's powerlessness. That's a mind lying to the observer. Mind lying to itself. I don't know. Maybe the observer just sees all the lying. But can you spot the lion in you? Can you spot your mind, how it lies to you? And then your mind lies to itself. New Year's resolution, that's the biggest lie ever told. Never do they work. Now, somebody will give me the one example where theirs went and one stuck, but I'll give you millions that didn't. Okay.
Okay, I've got two things before we open it up. So can you talk a little bit, some of the conversations I've had this week with people who there was confusion last week over the topic. One of the common things is like, can you just clarify that this has nothing to do, you are not saying that there are not right moves to make with your loved one. This has nothing to do with the fact that there are right moves. You're not saying you're powerless and you can't make a difference with your loved one that's struggling with addiction. So if you can talk a little bit about that, but let me read this email too, because it's kind of goes the same. This is an email, someone who, Christine Valala. She said, hey, we're working late tonight. I don't have any questions, but I'm still disagreeing with the part about admitting we are powerless and there's nothing we can do, that we have no control. As I told Art last week, we knew we were powerless and had no support or guidance. We knew we needed help. We didn't know what we didn't know. What we do know is that Art had suggestions based on his own experience that changed our lives forever in a positive way. We couldn't be more grateful and thankful for this guidance and journey. And this is a statement directly to you, Art. She says, Art, you do have answers. You did make a difference in many lives, and many families have reconnected and healed relationships. That's what I know. So see, a lot of people are mixing what your message was into thinking that there aren't
because
right
I say I'm power, just because I'm saying, because I state that I'm powerless does not mean that I can't change a flat tire.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that we can't wash a dish. It doesn't mean we sit and do nothing. It means in the areas of our mind that seem to be areas that we don't like, we seem as human beings in our own minds to have an inability to get in there and change those areas. And it seems that those areas are changed by something outside of us, by events that happen in life, whether it's, and it seems like that, you know, we don't change ourselves. And it seems more to the case that what changes us is life. And, you know, it's kind of an evolution of a path. What changes our journey down a path is the path changing. And it kind of just does that. And we bump into things and we do that. But even what she said, what Christine says, she said, admitted we were powerless and there is nothing we can do. By the way, I never, ever said last week, there's nothing you can do. I never said that. You admit you're powerless. Admitting you're powerless is nothing to do really with what we're doing with families and addiction. No, it has a lot to do with okay, I want to lose 10 pounds. I've wanted to lose 10 pounds for 10 years and I haven't done it. Okay. I get angry and I don't want to get angry, but I'm going to be hard on myself because I got angry. On and on to that. But
well, and I think that the assumption that you were saying that prevented some of us from actually hearing what you actually were saying. Because I know Melinda and I were talking. I watched it a second time last week, which I always do. But when I watched it the second time, I was sitting there going, oh my gosh, every single person that was on needs to watch this a second time without the defense. Because I know even me last week, there was something I was like, you know, and I even got in my moment of like, what was he trying to say? Try, you know, and I've been listening to you for 8 years, you know, and so, but I still had a moment of like trying to like dissect it or whatever, trying to understand it or whatever, or being defensive about you saying powerless or what?
Because people, you know, what we're talking about is credit. What are we crediting? You know, we want to lay the credit on ourselves. And, or you want to lay the credit on me, or you want to lay the credit somewhere.
Right.
These things are just happening. Yeah. The reason that I know how to help your kid is I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how I learned it when somebody else didn't learn it. I don't know how that. So I'm powerless to that not knowing. I didn't do it. But did it help your kid? Okay, cool. That's sweet. But I can't find where I did it. I can't find where I created my mind. I can't find where I did any of this stuff. So it's just about credit. Okay, it helps your kid. Great. Does that mean that you're powerful? I don't know. Does that mean that I am? I don't know. But this is what happened. This is what's happening. I'm in here riding around experiencing it too. So my dad, was he powerless to me? He wasn't powerless. He helped me. Was I powerless? Yes. So the biggest thing that we can do for other people, we have a very good chance at helping other people. It's just harder to help ourselves. We have a great chance at helping other people. We have a tremendous impact on other people. So an intervention is a strong thing, whether it's in any part of, we can intervene. We can reprogram another person. Our mind can do that for another person. In fact, if somebody said that they wanted to save money and they came to me and they go, Art, help me save money. And I go, okay, do everything I say to do for a year. That would probably work for them. They'd have to be ready to actually do it. They would have to hit box. All the circumstances would have to line up. But now let's see them try to save money on their own. Powerless. Can't do it. You're going to go 50 years and go, I never made it. Not once did I save money. But people want to not give up the power. They want to try to do that, which will lead them for 50 years of not saving money because they're not willing to relinquish that thought that they're going to choose better next year. So they'll never get better.
That's where I was saying that the acceptance and the humility comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
If you're humble enough to admit that you aren't in control of this situation or any situation that you are having a hard time with, that maybe through experience or through somebody else's experience, it can help to make it easier on you or
that's it. We've all vibrated here and everyone's helping each other. And it's more power in that situation than anything else. Just like I went 10 years of recovery, never being able to practice never to sustain one diet in the history of me. This thing was never able to sustain a diet. 10 years in recovery, came here, gave it up to the program, said, I'm willing to do exactly what you guys tell me to do. And I'll do it for 90 days. And somehow this thing committed and it allowed that to do it. And of course that helped. But me alone, my mind figures out ways to sabotage itself. I watch it. It figures out ways to lie to itself and say no next week. It figures out, but if there's other humans, if there's a pressure from other humans, if there's accountability, it seems that my mind will bow down to that accountability and actually give in sometimes.
So then isn't that the answer, basically?
Well, it's.
I mean, if we're looking for those,
there's a whole chapter on it. It's chapter 4.
Right there.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a whole chapter. It's the power now. I believe it's chapter 4. It's speaking to surrender. You're saying you're powerless. That's the surrender. It has this negative connotation, but it's not really there. It gives you access to a whole other way of looking at things and like operating.
Again, 100 people could read the chapter that said surrender is the way. And maybe only one person's mind will actually surrender. And I will say to that person, what were the circumstances out there in the world, or what was it that allowed you to surrender? Maybe it wasn't you. Go ahead, guys. We got questions.
Yes. Okay. Stampalius, I'm trying to unmute you. Can we get it unmuted? Did you mean to raise your hand? Yeah. Hey, guys. Oh. You're muted. You're muted, guys.
There. No, we're not.
Okay.
So I guess I just have a statement to make. And I was just talking to Dave about it. Our hope is that being in the community of other people that are striving for the same outcome, that it will kind of
Chris will see the opportunities to.
Yeah, Chris will see the opportunities that the rest are taking, and hopefully make a pathway for himself.
Again, what I will say to that is, I don't know. Just like I would tell anyone on here, I would say, if there's a change that you want to make in your life, something that you've been working on, and name anything, any change that you've wished for yourself, any change, the smallest, the biggest, any change, I want you to state emphatically to us tonight that you're going to make that change. Now, what I'll tell you is you won't want to do that, because any change that you declare that you're going to make as a human being, let's stop talking about addiction, just as a human being, how many times do we say we're going to make a change, and how many times do we do it? And when we say we're going to make that change, we as a human being are very iffy on whether we're going to do it or not. We know as we're speaking about a change, any change, we know as we're speaking about it that we're probably not going to do it. I'm going to start reading more books. No, you're not. I'm going to save money. No, you're not. I'm going to lose 15 pounds. No, you're not. I'm going to quit eating meat. No, you're not. I'm going to stop getting mad at my husband. Bullshit. You're not. I'm going to spend more time with my family and stop watching football. Bullshit. You ain't. Any change someone makes, I will tell you, no, you're not. Now, life might show up and you might make that change. It might happen that way. You might actually be on here tonight and go, I've made lots of changes in my life. Nah, wait, look. Did you? Or did life make you make those changes? Isn't it very odd that most people seem to start eating healthy in their late 40s? From what I've seen, isn't it odd that that starts happening all around the same time? Notice that we don't see many people. We see some, but not many. Some people in their early 20s that have struggled with weight gain. You see those. Some people start to eat healthy in their 20s, but for the most part in the 20s, just nobody does.
The doctor tells them that you
Till something in life, till something in life comes in. Then they go, I started eating healthy. When?
The doctor told you had diabetes.
Yeah, the doctor told you you're going to die of diabetes. You hit bottom. Yeah, I know. Now, none of this is true. I'm not proclaiming truth. I'm not proclaiming anything. I'm saying just look at the possibility here that we're not doing change. As maybe then, and that a lot of the things that we take credit for are happenings.
But it is happening.
It's definitely happening. I can't sit here and say change doesn't happen. Now, if we knew what would change Chris, we would do it. Believe me.
But Chris has got to do it.
Chris's mind's got to do it.
True.
Chris's mind's got to do it. He may be in there. Chris may be in there fighting his mind or observing his mind fight. I don't know. Okay.
But wouldn't you agree? He has a better chance of winning that battle if he surrounds himself with people who are also trying to do that.
Again,
this is
again, that seems more likely. Yes. It seems to be the likely scenario that we do actually vibrate to this place. We get here, and that seems to be where the change occurs. Yes.
Right.
Just like a lot of people, but just like if everyone wanted to take a left on the path and it would seem more likely that everyone started taking a left on the path when the path turned left. Yes. It'd be likely as the path turning left that most people would make that great decision to go left, right as the path is turning left. Now you'd have to ask yourself, did that person go left and choose to go left, or did the path go left? So he's on the left in the path, yes. Is there another way to go right now but to appease to us? No. Not really a choice. We're not going to give him another option. You're going to get better.
Yep.
There is no right turn here. I actually had him disabled so he can't even walk out of here. Yeah. Yeah. I made that happen. Yeah. See how I take credit? I made it happen. I prayed about it. I prayed Chris would get disabled. So you're welcome, Chris. You're welcome. Yes. Yeah, we all prayed about it. Can we at least disable him so he can't walk away from treatment?
Very fast.
There you go. Yes. Yes. Okay. Next one.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you guys.
All right. Any questions out there? Raise your hand feature. Let me know.
Something.
Angela, let's get you.
Sherry Pennington has something.
Okay, great. We'll do Angela and then Sherry.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look, she's laughing. She's like, I do? She's always good at coming up with something. Hey, Angela, can we get you unmuted? There you go.
Yeah, I got it. I just want to say how much I agree with what you just talked about, Art, with the smoking and how can you sit there and say to your son, why do you keep doing, when you have that same issue? Because that is my issue. And I have said it a number of times, and I've tried a number of things, and I did actually quit right before the pandemic using the patch. And 3 weeks into the shutdown, I started smoking again. And you're so right. I understand so much more about addiction since you've opened my eyes to all these things that you've talked about. That's taken probably about 5 years for it to really sink in with me. But
I also want to say that I'm not telling you to not to tell your kid not to use drugs while you smoke cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. I'm just saying. It's a lot better addiction, I guess, maybe. But
no, but
you've never stole your neighbor's shit for smokes, have you?
No.
No, that's good. That's good.
I really like to reiterate what you said and how much that really hits home. I know. I mean, I don't show the disappointment no more with him like I used to when he does have a slip up. And part of that is opening my eyes to all the other addictions that there are out there. And mine being cigarettes, and
I think we all got
more the habit than actual the nicotine, in my opinion, because I can go all day at work and not have a cigarette, but as soon as I get out of there, I'm wanting to smoke. And I use that excuse. This is what calms my nerves, just like an addict might use the excuse that drugs do what they do. I get it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Angela. Hey, Sherry, you got something tonight?
Yes. So
Hey.
of course I have questions. So it seems like, at least from last week, I kind of took away that life doesn't stop teaching you until you learn what you're supposed to learn. Is that accurate at all, or no?
Here's what I know. We seem to be all hearing the human experience. I mean,
what we're supposed to learn.
I don't know. I mean, we learn every day. It happens. I think everybody's searching for meaning and purpose, and everybody's made up their own. And I don't know why some people make up I mean, there's a lot of made up purposes, and a lot of people have theories on why we're here. I think my theory is we'll find out later. I hope. You know, I seem the ultimate torture seems like if we don't find out later and it's just, this is it. It's like, I got a lot of questions. You know what I mean? I got a lot of questions and very little answers. Somebody needs to start fucking talking. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, I need that for me. I hope that it's me and the creator and he's got the DVD and we're hashing it out. Here's where you did awesome shit, Art. I'm proud of you. That's not so much. You know how many pounds of gum you chewed? You know, I want all the stats. I want to know all the, it seems like my creator should have all the stats too. I want to know how much money I ever made the whole time. How much did I spend on Coca-Cola? How much did I spend on drugs? How many women did I sleep with? Bring up the DVD. Let me watch the highlights. You know?
The red zone.
Yeah.
That would take years.
You know? And then, then I want him to give me a big hug and say, get in here, Art. Come on in. Now you can just get to play poker. Yeah.
If you're a passenger in it, right? You were saying earlier you're kind of a passenger and we don't know where the control room is. It's like you're kind of just along for the ride, right? And
I've gotten kind of used to that. The day-to-day ups and downs of the experience of being Art.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, and I kind of move away from me doing it, and it's okay. It's a kind of relaxing way to live, you know. But I can tell you the worst times was when that I'm not in the passenger seat, when I'm in the driver's seat and I think I'm controlling everything and I think I'm making it. And that's worse than being an observer. If I can stay in the observer seat all day, I'm a nice person. But as soon as I go in that I'm doing it state and I'm thinking, then usually I'm thinking you're a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm usually thinking that I'm better than you.
And that's what we're trying to control it, right? Because that's the only things like, I mean, I think I try and control things. I'm a mom. That's what we do, right? So it's, you know, so it's just one of those things where you have to step out of that. Like, I have no control over this, and it's going to how it's going to unfold.
I don't know. I mean, I think with parents, if I look and say, turn around and there's your son, and I see Brian, and you know, he's back there being a dipshit, and you know, I mean, our biggest chance at Brian not being a dipshit is you. I mean, really, you're his only hope. And that's, you know, and that's if you intervene properly and then your mind figures it out. And I believe in that. I believe in the programming of Brian. I believe in that. And I think that could be possible, that we as human beings have a better opportunity at making an impact on the changing of others than we do ourselves. And I think a lot of what I was talking about last week was I'm powerless to changing myself. I seem to be evolving, but it seems to be, I don't know if I can credit that to time and age and wisdom or some changes I'm making. Or maybe, you know, I mean, the spiritual guru is always very spiritual, and they also live in the woods, and they don't have to drive a car, and they don't have to like fight traffic, and they don't have a cell phone ringing all day, and they don't have to make money, and they don't have a job. And I could be spiritual doing that too. Mm-hmm. On a beach in the Bahamas with no concerns of money and no cell phone and no addicts to work on. And I'd be a monk, you know, just sitting there meditating. But let me see you run the Oval Office and be a spiritual guru too. And not try to take back control and try to think and, you know, do that. So, yeah, but if I didn't think that there was value in programming, I wouldn't be running a program. Okay, who's next? Thank you, Sherry.
Let's go to. I can't. Oh, there. Okay, now you're. Sorry, Carrie. I'm trying to get you on Spotlight. There we go. Because your camera's on now. Now I can. Thank you, Sherry. Hey, Carrie.
Hey.
And this will be our last one, Art.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So just a real quick question. Art, you just said about the things that may be part of your evolution. And I cut time, experience, wisdom. I can't remember them all that you said, but almost the inflection of your voice was some of those might be the reason, or some of them might be better than others. And I just want to kind of understand if you did have an inflection, or if something is more important to your evolution than others.
I'm saying like for a long time, I ran the big house and I was doing this meditation. I was working on compassion. I was working on my anger. And, I really thought I had it licked. I was thinking, geez, this meditation practice that I have is amazing. The work I've went through, the training, the seminars, the spiritual readings I've done, it's led me to the point where I can just kind of walk on water and not get angry at the big house. I moved in
for you.
Well, I moved in here, and I actually didn't get angry at the big house, and I didn't do those things. And there was some wisdom there. And I thought, wow, this is me changing myself. And then I moved in here with these guys, and I'm exactly like I was at year 4 of recovery. I'm angry all the time. I'm frustrated. I don't have compassion. I complain. I mean, I got a lot of the same problems that I thought I got rid of. So I think, we look like we're changing because the path has changed, and we feel that we've changed because the path has changed. But I don't know if at the core, when, if you put Eckhart Tolle in the Oval Office and ask him to bomb Afghanistan, I don't know how much he's changed. I don't know how mindful he'll be. I don't know how he'll be able to just think of the present when he just bombed 2 million people and has to deal with those repercussions and sit there after he bombed 2 million people and killed them all, and then says, we'll just be present. So a lot of that is like, well, maybe not. Maybe I've just been on a path and it looks different from time to time, and I'm riding on that path, and maybe my mind gets wiser. Yes, of course. And it gets easier to handle money because maybe we go blow it 10 times. And by the 11th time we go, that's not going to happen again. I'm not going to do that again. And, but what's tough is when we say, when we declare that we're going to make some change. And when we declare that we're going to make that change, I think that results in almost ultimate failure 100% of the time. So that's all.
So as you've been talking, I've talked about, so maybe some of the things that you lost was time to practice the meditation and the reading and the empathy. But do you feel, and this is what I feel that I've gotten since we've become part of the gang, is awareness and the value of awareness. So I'm aware more often. And somebody talked about on a ride, and then so you're on the ride, and then, wow, something happens, life happens, and you're knocked off the ride. But I do feel, and I think what I'm learning from you and hearing from you is that there's a sense of awareness, and you might have that awareness for 30 seconds or 30 minutes, or I don't know if you can go for a whole day, because like I used to tell people that worked for me, anytime you have more than one person working on a job, it's, all hell can break loose. But the value of awareness, I don't know if you can put a price on that.
And again, because you've heard that, and because you've read that, and because that's come into your life, that's a possibility for you. And awareness shows up, and sometimes it shows up more than others, and it shows up for me. And empathy shows up a lot more than it used to show up, and compassion shows up a lot more than it used to show up. And definitely, because I've heard those things, and because I've seen different, and because I can look at a human being, and because someone taught me along the way that maybe it's not them thinking, that thinking's happening to them, compassion shows up, and all that stuff shows up. And that's fine. But I think we struggle with it not being us doing it. I think we struggle with wanting the credit that I did something to cause this compassion. I did something to cause this awareness. I did something to cause it. And I'm just saying there's no cause. You're not the cause. it might be happening, and congratulations. But if you're the cause, then you should do it all the time. So the times that you should have compassion, you should do compassion all the time. It's a way better choice than not having compassion. So if you're choosing compassion and there's something that you're causing when it pertains to compassion, then just do it all the time. Do exactly what you did the time that you got compassion. So don't forget it. That's stupid. You had compassion yesterday for the person. Do exactly what you did for the next person tomorrow. But we all know that sometimes it shows up and sometimes it doesn't. And, that's powerless.
So I hear what you're saying, but a lot of times, not a lot of times, all the time, we have more than one, we're dealing with more than one event or person in our life. So we may start to lean towards empathy and compassion for one person or one situation, and then wow, 4 other things come screaming through our life. And so as I guess what I'm trying to say is I personally don't want to beat up on myself all the time, or I don't want people to beat up on themselves, because you're juggling. You're not ever living life in a linear role with you and one person at any given time. There's a shit ton of stuff going on in everybody's life all the time. So yeah, sometimes you can be compassionate because you're granted the grace to have that thought at that time, because maybe all the other 45 people, and you live in your, what do you call it? Your test tube or whatever. So, you may just be leaning towards empathy towards one person, and then, wow, you're sideswiped by 5 others.
Yeah. That happens.
So
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. And then I can't explain to you why still, I felt and had an experience of compassion with one human, and then I had an experience of hatred or anger with the next person. Just like I can't explain to you, like I like the taste of vanilla ice cream over the taste of chocolate. I can't tell you why. And I can't tell you why I like football and I don't like soccer. But those things happen to me in my experience. And I am, again, I think that it always bounds back to credit and control. And I'll sit here and say it's possible for me that I don't have the control to compassion. I don't have the control to anger. People say, you can't choose what happens to you. You can only choose how you react. Really? I say we can't choose what happens to us, and we don't choose how we react. Because if we were choosing how we were reacting, we would always react well. We would always make the right reaction. Right. But for most of our time, and there's days and we don't make the right reaction, and then we apologize. And this happens hundreds and hundreds of times. So that statement that we can only choose how we react, to me, is nonsensical. That would be awesome. It would end all of our problems as a society.
So I'm going to push back. I think that the key word that you used in there is only. We can only react.
I said we can only choose how we react.
Well, you did use the word only.
No, I did. I said we can't choose what happens to us. We can only choose how we react to what happens to us.
Right. And so in grace, sometimes we can be, we have the awareness to choose, and
Yes.
Sometimes we don't.
Okay. And I would just ask you.
And the only thing that I want to say is, give yourself some grace when you choose a shitty way, and put that in the memory bank and say, okay, next time I'm going to try something different.
Okay. But again, if you are choosing why would you ever choose not to have it? The awareness.
I can't
Why would
argue
you,
with that now.
just like if a guy was choosing to kick a field goal, why would he ever choose to miss?
Yeah.
That's a dumb choice.
Well,
Yeah. I mean,
so yeah.
So again,
but there's all sorts of things that go on in a field goal. He could get a bad snap. He could have shitty wind. It could be raining. And, and that's where the grace comes in. Oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to go round and round about this one. But here's the deal. But the deal is this to me is actual the grace. The grace is that I didn't choose either one. That's the grace. That when I react good, there was no choice. It just happened. And it's great that it happened. It was very fortunate. And for some reason, a reason that I can't explain, as I've went on in my journey, the better choices seem to happen, or the awareness happens. And I learned about awareness. And so now awareness is privy to me, and that happened. But I can't find me making a choice in any of it. I just can't find it. And I won't be able to find it because I've been looking for 11 years. And because to me, if a kid is acting terrible and then another kid is acting terrible. And if one kid I yell at and scream and lose the trust of him, and I lose that, and the other kid I'm very kind to, I can't tell you what I did differently in that situation. I can't find the control of that. And so what I say is it's very fortunate when my mind finds that awareness and is that way. And it's unfortunate when it's not, but either way, I don't take credit. Either way, I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'm not going to sit here and stew over it and say I shouldn't have done that because I didn't do that. It happened. And I think that's how we understand each other. That's a way to understand each other. That if it occurred to me to do this the right way, I'm fortunate. And if it occurred to me to do it the wrong way, it wasn't that I chose to do it the wrong way. It was that's how it occurred to me that time.
We could go back and choose not to be drug addicts. Don't you think we would?
We would, So, Carrie, and I think that what I'm saying is I give no credit to I. I have no I can't find the I in it. And so I've been looking for myself, and I've been looking for what I'm doing. My mind is doing things, but I've separated from my mind, and I observe it, and it does it whether I want it to do it or not. And this happenings of this experience seem to happen. And then no matter how good I get and how practiced I get, I still feel hatred, anger, resentment, frustration, all those things. They haven't went away. They're all part of my experience still. Sadness comes, hatred, anger, complaining, it all still comes. Seems to be getting, I don't even know. I cannot find the I in it where I can tell you, this is what I do, guys. Go ahead and just do exactly what I do and you'll get what I got. I can't find that. This is what happens to me. What happens to you? Do you feel the same way? Do you feel sometimes that's your human experience? That like you didn't mean to get angry with somebody and you didn't choose to react that way. It was just happening. Yeah. And that you wish you wouldn't, just like probably a pedophile wish you wouldn't have touched the kid. And on and on and on. And whether that's true for us as human beings, I don't care to argue it much, but I can tell you when you get that perspective about other people not choosing how they react to you, you actually become responsible for the relationship with other people, because you can see that they don't have a choice of how they're reacting either. And if you look, you can find a gentler, calmer way to get in there. And if you think people have a choice of how they react to you, just tell me today whose buttons you could push, and you know what buttons to push to piss them off. And it actually puts a little bit more onus on, well, maybe not. Maybe I can see that I'm going to get this guy heated if I say it this way, but if I say it a better way, they're going to react kinder. And so we learn. We learn how to be with each other. Okay, thank you, Carrie.
Yeah,
we can argue on text.
Yeah, we're way over on time. Before you close up, Art, let me just remind everybody, if there are anybody out there that is real good with Zoom, they might know how to help. There's quite a few people that have texted me tonight, couldn't even get on. Obviously there's a lot of people on, so it's not happening to everybody, but then there are the people that it is. And the common thing is some people are saying that, like Kristen, it happened to her on her laptop. so she went to her phone and she can get on. Renee was the same way. So I don't know what the issue is. So if there's anybody out there that is Zoom wise and has some information for me, if you can contact me tomorrow, send me a text or an email, and let me know what I might look into to fix this. Or I might just need to create a whole new Zoom room for us. And so if you are not on our text reminder list, so if you didn't receive a text last night reminding you of Solution Group and you don't receive a text every single week, if you don't receive a text every single week on Monday or Tuesday, then that means you are not on the reminder list. Shoot me a text so we can add you to that reminder list. That way you will get a text with the new link if I need to create a whole new one. So heads up on that. We'll try to solve it. Quite a few people can't get on. Probably, I don't know, it looks like about 30% of the people can't get on. So we'll try to find a solution for those people. All right, Art, go ahead and close it up. Oh, we can't hear you though. No
Okay.
sound. There we go.
Is there sound now? Okay.
Yep.
Well, just really quick. I mean, I don't mind ever talking about this stuff with people. And like I said, tonight doesn't have to be true. Nothing I'm saying is true. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm giving you a perspective. I'm giving you my perspective. I'm giving you the way that I find the things that I find or that it shows up for me. And so that's all. And for me, I don't know the control room of reaction. I don't know how to get in there and hit the right buttons so I react better. And if I did, I'd certainly do it. And so I don't have to be hard on myself, and I don't really try to not be hard on other people too. And I try to look at other people that are making, that it looks like they're making poor choices or failures, and I can find some compassion in they're doing the best they can, given the information they have and the circumstances that they're dealing with. So it's just a way to find some compassion and find some humility from a really angry and arrogant person's point of view. And that's me. And I was really arrogant and I was really angry. And I've had somehow it's occurred to me to not be that way as much. And I appreciate that. And I'm just trying to give you that perspective that says I'm working on arrogance and I'm trying to be a little bit more humble when I do good. And when I do bad, it'll be a little bit more easy on myself and just kind of have a smoother ride through this thing. So once again, thank you guys for coming. We'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Good night, everybody. Be watching for your text for information
Angie needs to tell those people
on
that
next Tuesday. Good night.